Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who's a Fruit Loop Dinger, Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Rob Has a Podcast live here on Sunday night, July 27th, live after episode 15 of Big Brother 16. And we have got one hell of a show for you tonight. Let me introduce you to the man who has been loving life this weekend. Last week was so boring for him. But this week, with this weekend, he's been loving this Zach HOH. Here's Mr. Brian Lynch. Brian, how are you?
I have been amazing, but I only got one day of Zach as HOH, so I'm looking forward to a whole week next week.
Okay, good. All right, and now here's a man who is making his return to Rob Has a Podcast. He is a Big Brother winner. He is a Survivor player and now an entrepreneur. Please welcome in Hayden Moss. Hayden, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good, Rob. How are you?
I'm doing very good. Hayden with the short hair, like almost like Zach.
Yeah, I mean, I had to trim it up. You know, I'm joining the real world, becoming a professional. I think that's what you grow up and you get a haircut.
Yeah, well, Hayden, thank you very much for coming back on. I know everybody is very excited between all the Big Brother fans and the Survivor fans, so it is a treat to have you back here on the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, and Hayden Moss is going to be with us in the 20-team Rob Has a Fantasy Football League 4 coming up next month. Are you ready?
You know what? It's my favorite time of year, football, and I'm coming for the belt this year. It's mine.
Okay.
Mine.
Hayden's coming for the title. All right. Now, Hayden, first off, I know you've been very busy with your the new Divvy app that you've been working on. Could you tell people what that's about?
Yeah, it's a collaborative sharing. It's video and a collaborative effort. So you and a few friends can make short, cool, fun videos with each other being in different locations. I mean, it can be all over the world. It's spelled Divvy. It's on the App Store. Check it out. It's been unreal. We've had an amazing reception, a ton of downloads already. Really, it's been pretty awesome. So if you guys get a chance, check it out. It's legit. It's the real deal. We're having fun with it.
All right. Well, we will.
And tell the fans, if you guys want to add me, my username's Hayden. Get on there, take a short video, send them my way, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you, and we can kind of have some fun with it.
You're collabing with people on videos?
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, the concept in a nutshell, you take a short video clip, you can send it to a group of your friends. Your friends view your clip, and then they can add on to it and send to more friends. So it's like a video chain.
So should I do this with people from Rob Has a Podcast? Should I finish people's videos?
100%, yeah. Yeah, you Brian, get together, shoot me a video. I'll tag onto it. Brian can tag onto it. And the final product is a 25-second, 5-clip video. It's kind of the final product every time.
Are you the closer? Like, is it prestigious to like come in, sort of be like the Mariano Rivera of the video, and sort of like be the last person to come in?
Yeah, you know what? I close some of them out. I start some of them. It just kind of depends. But if you guys got to get on and check it out, because I mean we already have a lot of users, and there's some kids on there that are insanely creative already. It's been cool to watch.
All right, Divvy, Divvie, right?
Correct. Yes.
All right. Well, let's jump into something else that's very crazy, and this season of Big Brother, and specifically this weekend, where we really got to see Zach really lose his mind over this last episode, and it's been so great to watch. I don't know if it's going to potentially work out, but I feel like you're a great person to talk to because you were part of the brigade, and I feel like that that people are always comparing the guys' alliance in the house to the brigade, and people are always trying to recapture that. So just from a broad perspective, what do all these alliances of guys do wrong that the brigade did right?
I mean, first of all, the brigade, I mean, we got lucky. B, it was kind of a special bond because we actually trusted each other. You know, you see these big, like last year was the moving company. You had all that guy alliance. You have all those egos. And I feel like, really, that might be it. Egos get in the way. And with the brigade, nobody really had that big ego. Everybody was kind of willing to play their part and roll with it. And I mean, the Detonators, it's a big alliance. You have a ton of big personalities. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out, especially when the numbers get smaller and there's not as many targets around. People are going to be pointing fingers at each other.
Now, ultimately in Big Brother 12, the Brigade had to move on from Matt, and Matt wasn't nearly as outrageous as Zach has been. What's that decision like when you have to sort of make the call within the other group of the Alliance of, this guy is not with us for the long haul?
Yeah, it's tough. You just kind of have to evaluate what's. First of all, I mean, Big Brother is an individual game. At the end of the season, there's one winner. One person's walking away with a check. So really, you have to kind of evaluate it from an individual perspective, and then as an alliance perspective, what's best for your long-term game. And really, there was a point in our season when I was talking to Enzo, and we just realized, hey, if we take Matt to the end, he's going to win this thing. You know what? So maybe it's best within our alliance to get rid of him, and that's kind of the same thing they're going to have to evaluate with Zach. I mean, is Zach going to, is he going to hurt the alliance more than he's going to help? Probably. So they're probably going to have to cut some fat pretty soon.
But, it's almost like the opposite, where if you're saying, okay, well, if we take Matt to the end, Matt's going to win. I don't think anybody is saying if we take Zach to the end, he's going to win. But he's such a loose cannon that you have no control over him. So do you think that does the good outweigh the bad, where it's almost like if you take him to the end, like he'll probably tell everybody off in the final two, but if you keep him around, he is such a unstable element that he has a good chance to blow up the alliance.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You got to wrestle with those kind of questions. And again, really evaluate, and you have to go with your gut and kind of what you think is best. I mean, is it going to be best to get rid of Zach because he is going to blow up the alliance? Or, like you just said, you want to play devil's advocate, maybe it's best to keep him around because he's a big target. Because you kind of have to think about it, in that sense. If there's a bigger target than you in the house, then you're probably going to be safe.
Zach has been so outlandish, and I love Zach because he's been such great TV, and we all like good TV around here. Brian, you like good TV, right?
I love good TV, Rob.
Hayden, you like good TV too, right?
Of course, yeah, yes, it's got to be good TV.
We all love good TV, so I don't understand why anybody would not like Zach. That being said, he's playing really, really bad, right? Can you do you see any upside to this strategy?
No, Zach doesn't have a chance in hell to win. Let's be real. We all know that, and we all want him to stick around as long as we can so we can continue to be entertained, episode after episode. It's funny to watch him. It's like he couldn't. First of all, in his head, can he possibly think he has a chance to go on and win? Does he think that?
Brian, does Zach think he's going to win?
Yes, he thinks he's going to win.
He cannot think that. Logically, it just doesn't make sense.
He tells people that he's playing for the $50,000 and that he wants them to win and that he's going to take them there.
Okay. Well, I mean that's a good strategy.
It's not bad, but I think he's too over the top. I don't know if he could really go the distance on this because Hayden, you played on a season 2 with Brendan and Rachel, who were such a big distraction in the house. Can a big personality like this just sort of bond the house against one or two people in this way? And I feel like we even started to see that tonight, where after his speech, everybody sort of came to the aid of Nicole and Christine.
Yeah, like I said earlier, those big personalities, they do bond the house against a few. Maybe it's an alliance, maybe it's a showmance. For example, season 12, the whole house was trying to get Brendan or Rachel out for the first 6 weeks, and that helped. That helped the brigade a lot. So yeah, those huge personalities, they bond and create alliances. At the same time, it can blow it up. It's a fun game. But in terms of Zach keeping it up, Big Brother is a marathon. It is such a long social game. He's got no chance, and his social game is just not up to par. But again, very entertaining, and we all want him to stay.
Now, Julie Chen said this was the summer of twists. This was going to be the twistiest summer ever. I know you played in season 12 that had a saboteur. Do you think that Zach is actually the Big Brother saboteur this season?
I wouldn't put it past the guy. He's a freaking nut. We know that. Is he acting? Is he intentionally being a nut? I hope so, but I don't think so. I think he's just a wackadoo.
Now,
That's
his
Zach.
target, yeah, his target this week was Amber, and that's who he felt like he wanted to go after. Now, Brian, could you just clarify, was Amber actually going after Zach? Because in the clip that they showed in the flashback, Amber basically said to Christine, Zach has to step up. It didn't sound like that she ever said that Zach was her target. Can you just give us some more insight into that?
I believe I can't specifically remember one instance in which she said that, but she admitted it in this episode that she was going after Zach towards the end, and that's why she went upstairs to wake him up at 5 in the morning, which led to him saying, "Well, thank you for waking me up in the morning. I won't put you on the block. I'll just backdoor you."
Okay. So, do you feel like for these guys in this alliance, do you feel like getting rid of Amber is the right call right now for them, Hayden?
I mean, for the guys alliance.
For the guys, because Frankie wants to do it too.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, really, it doesn't matter if you can just keep the alliance together. I guess, yeah, I would say in terms of keeping the alliance together, that's probably the best move because Amber is actually, at least it seems like she's taking initiative and she kind of is now targeting Zach and targeting some of the alliance members. So if they do want to keep that alliance together, then yeah, it's like you have to take out the people that are targeting you. So I mean, yeah, I guess taking out Amber would probably be a good thing. I wish they wouldn't. I think she's fun to look at.
Whoa! Don't let Caleb hear you say that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Oh my God. So anyway, with this alliance and Zach's decision to make this big speech tonight, which was really one of the craziest speeches that we ever heard, even though it didn't end up resulting in the argument that Team America wanted, I feel like this could be a major shift here because you had the Team America wanting to cause this fight to happen at the nomination ceremony. So they pushed Zach into giving this speech tonight, which was essentially Christine. If I looked up the word floater in the dictionary, there'd be a picture of you and Jenn City holding hands. You're basically irrelevant. And then he went after Nicole and said to her, Nicole, you're a super fan. Well, you Fruit Loop Dingus. I bet you didn't see this coming. Which was fantastic theater. And Derek and Frankie pushed him into this. But if this comes at the expense of the Christine going off on her own and potentially splitting up this Detonators alliance, can't you see this being a point where this is the thing that drives some of the women of the house together, especially at the point where Amber could potentially be the backdoor target?
Yeah, I mean, like we said, it's you have your alliance, your Detonators, and Zach is creating that friction in the house. He's the sole point of confrontation, I guess you want to call it, and confrontation is what bonds people together in a game like this. And if they're smart enough and they realize, hey, this group of guys is working together. I mean, they know they're working together, and they're smart, and the girls are all smart enough to bond. I mean, it could be a guys versus girls battle the rest of the summer, which would be cool. I think it'd be really cool. Because it sucks. I mean, right now the Detonators are freaking in control. They're in the driver's seat, just picking them off one at a time. So we need the girls to bond and create some more of a head-to-head battle.
So are you rooting for the Detonators to fall apart because then the Brigade looks even more accomplished for what they were able to do?
I wouldn't say I'm rooting for them to fall apart, but it is cool to think that the Brigade. I mean, the Brigade, we had a pretty cool alliance, and we definitely got lucky here and there. And if the Detonators can stick together all the way to the end, good for them. And if they do, I'll congratulate them afterwards. But it's not easy, and I don't see it happening. But if it does happen, awesome.
So, actually, Brian, I want to ask more about this, but I think it goes too much into the live feed. So I will ask more about the Christine and Nicole response to this when we get to that point in talking about the show. One of the other things we saw tonight, Hayden, was Derek and Cody making a final two deal with each other that they called the Hitmen. It's early on in the game. We're only in, I think, the 5th week of the show here. Do you think, is that too early for guys in the bigger alliance to be talking about final twos?
You know what? No, it's not. If they trust each other, then no. And it's never a bad thing to continue to create, more relationships as long as there's some trust. I mean, Lane and I made a final two deal like week 2, week 3 of the season.
That was when this one was probably made too.
Yeah. So in my opinion, no, it's not too early, but it's got to be the right guy, and the right pair, whatever you want to call it. So
now,
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, if they think they have that right pair, that right bond, then cool, final two and roll with it. But they got to stick to it. The thing is, Derek's in 97 alliances right now. I mean, he's got partnerships and alliances and deals with everybody. But I think he's playing a good game too. I do.
Now, is the move to make multiple final twos? Then do you have a final two with Enzo also, or a final two with Matt, or is that really dicey?
That's too dicey at this point in the game. I mean, you make this early, it's like, hey, one final two deal. And even me, like I had one final two deal the whole time until there were 4 of us left, and then I had a final two deal with everybody, but so did everybody else. So it's but I think, yeah, you can't make multiple final twos with people because then people start to talk, obviously, and before you know it, you're on the outs.
So, okay, you're in a final two deal with Lame, but what happens if Enzo comes up to you one day and says, okay, Hayden, bro, we gotta make an alliance, yo. We gotta go to the final two, yo. So what do you say then? Do you say to him like, let's see, or do you have to accept that final two?
No, you kind of play it like, hey man, let's see. What I would do is I would tell Enzo, or probably what I did tell Enzo is, yeah man, obviously you and I are going to be working together pretty close at the end, and I would kind of accept. I guess I would accept it, but not put it in concrete. So it's more like that sounds good, maybe. Yeah, all right, maybe. And you kind of leave it, you leave the door open to say yeah, to say no. You just kind of play with them a little bit. So they think, yeah, sure, final two. But then if it comes back around, you can kind of remember what you said to them and be like, well, actually, it wasn't a real final two. It was more or less, a soft deal.
Soft deal. Okay,
yeah.
I got to remember that. So, Hayden, I'm interested to know this from you, and you're the only person in the world that can answer this question. Is that go differently for making alliances in Survivor than Big Brother? Because, of course, obviously, you're the only person that has done both of these shows, which we talk about so much. Is there any sort of difference in how you make an alliance on one show versus the other?
The formation of the alliance is kind of the same, but yes, Survivor happens way faster. It's a sprint. It's boom, 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 boom. The gameplay happens at at least double the rate. Whereas Big Brother, it's a marathon. You're taking naps. The social game is 3 months long. I mean, 3 months to kind of continue this exact social strategy and jockeying. So it's a much slower version of the social game, and so you have to focus more on Big Brother. And really, like I told you earlier, Big Brother is a marathon. Survivor's a sprint.
Yeah.
In terms of the social game, you have to hit the ground running on Survivor. Big Brother, you can kind of work your way into alliances or agreements or whatever.
I hadn't gotten a chance to say this before the show, but I also wanted to pass along my condolences about Caleb, who it's been about a month since he passed away. And I know you guys were very close during the show, and I'm sure that must have been quite a blow to find out about his passing last month.
Yeah, that was obviously a huge tragedy. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's just such a bummer. Caleb was such a solid dude all the way around. I mean, everything about the kid was amazing. Great kid, and he's gone way too soon.
Is there anything that you could tell people that are listening about Caleb that we might not have known about?
He's just a funny guy, because he was. I mean, he's a like a kind of a redneck country boy, and he's just a good guy overall. I mean, kind of with him, is what you saw was what you got. He was who he was. He wore his heart on his sleeve. Just a good dude, and that's kind of you can't say enough good things about the guy, and that's really it, man.
there's no easy way to segue from that to talking about this nonsense. So I'm just going to get into it. So let's talk about go back to the BB love triangle a little bit. And I'm sure you were in a showmance on Big Brother. You lived with Brendan and Rachel, so you've seen your share of showmances in the Big Brother house. Have you ever seen anything like the Caleb and Amber shenanigans that are going on?
Caleb needs to focus. At the end of the day, there's $500,000. Caleb's not in there to win money. Caleb's in there to win a date with Amber after the fact, and she wants nothing to do with him.
Yeah. I don't understand where this dare came from. This isn't exactly a Fear Factor. So Caleb won't eat a pickle, and then they dared him to eat a pickle, and if he would go on the date with Amber. Do you think there was any chance that Caleb was faking, that he can't eat a pickle?
I was kind of thinking the same thing. I like pickles. I enjoy them. I would, whatever. It's a pickle. I have no idea how that came about. How do you not like a pickle, first of all?
I don't know. Pickles are pretty delicious. Brian, what's with this this Big Brother house, and why is there so much romantic entanglements with pickles?
I'm not sure. I think the pickle stories are becoming legend, and they just keep on. It's a snowball effect. One pickle story begets another pickle story, begets another pickle story.
I can't remember exactly, but didn't Brittany Haynes on my season have a pickle, something to do with a pickle?
I don't know. We have to go back and check the check the archive. But I feel like if I was going to go on Big Brother, I think now at this point, I think I would say like, oh my God, I would never eat celery. I'm deathly afraid of celery. If I ever eat celery, I'll be sick, and then make like a whole big thing about it. And people are like, oh, well, dare you to do this? I'll do this if you eat the celery. He's got to be faking this, right? Who cares about a pickle?
Yeah, he's faking. I'm calling him out. He's faking it. He was doing anything he could to secure a date with Amber. That's all he wants. He got the date. She's still not interested.
And what did you think about how the date turned out?
Caleb put a lot of effort into it, but I still think he's just swing and a miss, strike three.
Yeah, strike 14.
Brian.
Yeah, exactly.
Brian, I'm sure you were watching that live. Did the editors do a fair job with how they portrayed the edit of the date?
They cut out some decent conversation, but that is, you get the point. She's not into Caleb, but she does acknowledge that he's not getting it in the diary room.
Okay, so. Let's go back to Zach for a little bit, because he really, got so much of the airtime in this episode. And Zach and Frankie had, there's an interesting relationship going on there with Zanky. Was there any sexual tension between any of the members of the brigade?
The answer is no sexual tension at all. The brigade obviously was just three meatheads, with the exception of Matt. Matt's a little smarter than the other three of us. But Zanky, I'm not sure what's going on there. Frankie wants to be romantically involved with Zach. Zach is romantically involved with Frankie. And it's probably my favorite showmance of the season.
Yeah, it is really fantastic of all the stuff that's going on with Zach and Frankie. Now Zach and Christine though is another story. So Zach says to Christine, hey, I need you to go on the block and throw the competition for me. Do you think Christine should have gone along with this plan? Is there any issue with how Christine handled Zach coming to her and saying, I need you to go on the block?
Absolutely not. It's one thing being, okay, first of all, pawns go home in Big Brother. That happens every single season. A pawn gets put up, a pawn goes home. That's what happens, and she knows that, so she's good for her for not agreeing to it. But the fact that he wanted to put her up and then wanted her to throw the veto competition, she's definitely a good move on her part not to agree to that, and kind of just tell Zach, hey, I'm not going to throw it. You can put me up, whatever, I'm not going to throw it.
But it seems like this sort of snowballed into, instead of her going up and being the pawn of trying to throw it. Now then it went into, then Zach was putting her up on the block not even as somebody who was trying to throw the competition. And it seemed like, Brian, maybe you have some more insight into this. What was Zach's thinking behind Christine and Nicole being his ultimate picks to go up on the block?
I'm not sure. When he was first telling these stories about being thrown under the bus, I wasn't sure that I thought it may have been Nicole that had told him that Amber was coming after him, but it ended up being Christine. But when he was telling the stories, he was grouping both of them into that. And he was, and like Frankie said, his mind changed about 20 times the night before nominations, and he just eventually settled on Christine because she doesn't do anything, and then Nicole because I guess he could call her a Fruit Loop Dingus or something.
Okay. Is this a connection to Willie Hance, the Fruit Loops, Brian, or is Fruit Loop Dingus a Zach original?
The Fruit Loops, Willie made it just. Fruit Loops are infamous, and they're just going to keep coming back over and over again.
Fruit Loops were trending on Twitter that season, which is awesome.
Yeah, Willie did it. All right, so now Christine and Nicole had to go up and be on the block. Now, Christine and Nicole are very tightly aligned with somebody who I have to ask you about. What is your take, Hayden Moss, about this imposter Hayden Voss on this season of Big Brother?
Hey, I'm a fan. He's been funny. I've enjoyed him. He's got a quirky personality, different guy. And you know what? I think he's actually in a decent position in the game. He's not a target. Everybody seems to like him. If he can kind of hang in there, play that mid-floater type of role, and then get on a roll and win some competitions toward the end, I mean, he could legitimately win Big Brother, which would be awesome. Like Hayden Voss and a Hayden Moss, winners.
So you're not rooting against him? Because I think if there was a guy on Survivor named Rob Cesternino, I think I would root against this guy. I wouldn't want to be have another guy and they say, oh, what did you see Rob Cesternino? Oh, Rob Cesternino or Rob Cesternino? Oh, Rob Cesternino. I feel like it would be very confusing.
Well, that's going to happen regardless. I mean, that's already over and done. Anytime somebody talks about Big Brother now, it's going to be Hayden. Oh, which Hayden? Oh, Hayden Moss? No, which one? That's going to happen forever now.
Yeah. Hayden, you got to get this situation under control. You need to pin this guy into being the Hayden that sucks, and you should be coming out and killing this guy's game.
Jack Claws, they're coming out.
Yes.
But I kind of wanted to root against him, but I feel like I can't. I actually like the kid.
How about a couple of weeks ago, Julie asked him about being in the house, and then he wanted to know if Survivor is hiring. I said, now where does this guy get off?
He's might be crossing the line there.
Oh my God. How about Cody this season? Because I kind of feel like Cody is to the Detonators maybe as Hayden Moss is to the Brigade. Do you feel like Cody is set up well for maybe a Hayden-like run this season?
I think so, yeah. He's in a good position. He's a very likable guy. Seems like he's pretty smart, pretty sharp, and he could be a physical threat as well. I mean, I guess he was a professional soccer player in the past, and as long as the thing is, you got to get to a certain part of the game, and then you have to start winning some competitions, and I think he could definitely do it.
Yeah, what did you think of his HOH week last week?
That was good. I really did. What do you think of the HOH twist with 2 HOHs, 4 noms going up?
Hayden, I think it's broken. I liked it at the beginning of the season, but this is now the second week in a row where we have 4 women who go up on the Battle of the Block. We've got Jocasta and Victoria playing every single week. I feel like it's better than the food competition, but I feel like ultimately it doesn't even matter, Battle of the Block. It's like which pawns are going to have immunity this week. There's a lot of like, okay, who's going to go on the block? And half the time people are throwing it. And then it ends up being, so far, it's been people getting backdoored every single week.
Yep. And the problem is, I mean, the 2 HOHs are consistently working together. There needs to be 2 HOHs that are on opposite ends of the house. So you have the 4 nominations actually battling, to kind of create some tension. And again, I'm kind of on the same boat as you. I like the twist a lot early. It is becoming a little stale, but I think it'll get spiced up as we get a little further into the season. But back to your question, Cody's playing a good game overall. His HOH train was good. He's in a good position within his alliance. He's in a good position overall in the house. So I think he could make a run. It's so funny because there's a lot of people that can make runs this season so far. There's not like anybody that sticks out that says, okay, this kid's gonna win. You know, there's 5, 6, 7, 8 people that I think have potential to go a long ways. But you never know what's gonna happen. It takes a little bit of luck at the end of the day to get to the end and to win.
Sure. Let's talk a little bit about Jocasta and Victoria, because Victoria again, she's crying and she doesn't understand why people think she's weak because she keeps winning. I must have missed those episodes where that happened, but I thought Jocasta was actually showing signs of life this week.
Life and death, because isn't she sick every other competition? And
I don't know what they gave her, if they gave her like an IV in the diary room this week, but Brian, wasn't she, who is this Jocasta we saw tonight?
Well, I mean, it's the pre-veto Jocasta who hasn't had to be carried back to her bed yet again.
Yeah, but she was funny tonight, right? She was talking about crickets, and she was talking about how bad Victoria is. So she called about Mama J's kids.
She must have had a good poop, Rob.
I guess so. Frankie said tonight at the end of the episode, he was talking about if Zach really, got the whole house pissed off at him, he would go along with the house and backdoor Frankie. Hayden, would that be a smart move for Frankie to do?
I mean, if the entire house demanded it, it probably wouldn't be a bad thing, And Frankie, for him to say that, I mean, it proves that he's a player. He's there to win the game. He's there to make it to the end, make a splash, take home the prize. He's not there to make friends. But obviously, you're going to make friends in the house, but that's not the purpose of the game. And he kind of said, you know what, if I have to go along with the house, backdoor my buddy Zach, I'll do it. So it's just, I think potentially it could be good for his game if the house demands it. But you never really want to get rid of somebody that has your back.
Yeah, Brian, is Frankie just say these things in the diary room, or do you think he really would go along with a plan like that?
What he was saying in the house to Zach was, I mean, it kind of echoed that, but it was a little bit different. He told him that you're going to have to stop with the tirades unless they're planned. He wants to still be able to sit him off on people during these nomination ceremonies because he's worth $5,000 as half of the task being accomplished. But he didn't tell him that he would get rid of him or backdoor him. I think what Frankie said was they wouldn't get rid of Amber if everybody came to him saying to get rid of Zach.
Okay. I have to say I will give kudos to Big Brother for not giving Team America the $5,000 on that mission. That was definitely not a mission accomplished. And after they gave it to them after putting up Amber as a strategic threat last week, I thought they might have tried to say, hey, we got it, mission accomplished. Hayden, do you like the Team America twist?
It's okay. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's getting America involved and letting the, I guess, the more popular players. It basically just puts a highlight on the players that are popular, and that's cool. It's fun. I mean, and it's fun to, it's kind of quirky fun to make them do things out of the ordinary. It's like push the limits, make them, Zach's tirade. I don't know if you guys watch Big Brother Canada, but they do stuff like that all the time.
Sure.
They're making the house guests do funny, quirky things that they wouldn't normally do. And it's funny to watch people do something that's out of the ordinary, something they wouldn't do typically. It just adds a little bit of an entertainment value.
Okay, let's take some questions here. We're going to do non-spoiler questions, and then we're going to talk about some stuff from the live feeds and let all the spoiler people bounce out. So let's go ahead and let's bring in some questions here. Scott St. Pierre has brought them all in. Of course, you could send in questions anytime at hashtag RHAP or on our YouTube channel at robhasawebsite.com/YouTube here with Hayden Moss. Andy Del Negro says, Hayden, do you think that any of these guys are brigade worthy, and if so, who? And I'm going to add that I think they need a brigade nickname if they get added to the brigade. All right. So, is there anybody here in this season that it could be brigade worthy?
I mean, yeah. It's so hard to tell from the outside looking in. I think Cody's a cool guy, smart guy. Like I said, sharp, probably athletic. He could be an honorary member, maybe. My personal favorite, Donnie. Donnie's the man. I would love Donnie to be in the brigade. Combat boots and all, everything.
What's his nickname?
Donnie. We would call him Grizzly Adams.
Grizzly Adams. Okay. I can say, what appeals to you about Donnie?
Loyalty. You know he's gonna have your back forever. He's a nice guy, and no matter what, I feel like Donnie, if he says he has your back, he's gonna have your back forever. And that's kind of what the brigade was all about. It's camaraderie amongst buddies, and just making sure that hey, we're all good. We're all sticking together.
Okay. Here is a question from Anna Jose. The Bomb Squad, the Detonators, Jump Street, the Hitmen. Should someone in the house be suspicious that all of Derek's alliance names are bomb and crime related? That's a fair point.
I mean, the guy is a cop, but has that been verified actually? Is that the real deal? Is he?
That's what he said. That's what he told us. I mean, it's as verified as much as it's verified for anybody.
Yeah. I mean, I guess being a cop, they're probably gonna take a deeper look into his background. Kind of weird.
I don't know. This is from Christino 3106. Rob, I think Christine is playing a great game. Would you consider her a floater? Yeah, this is a good point. And again, comes up all the time on this show. What's the definition of a floater? Hayden, it was Big Brother 12, right? That Rachel said floaters get the life vest. That wasn't Big Brother 13.
That was 12, correct.
Okay, so you were there for that, and that was really the basically the touch point of the floater as a Big Brother, terminology. So, is Christine a floater in your mind?
I mean, I would say no, not necessarily, because she is making moves. She is going to Zach, going to everybody, telling people, relaying information. She's not. To me, a floater is somebody that just naps the day away. They get up. They're not getting voted out. They're not involved in any social strategy. To me, that's a floater, because you're gonna have players that are athletic, that are physical threats. You're gonna have players that are social threats, and then you have the players that are none of the above. Those are floaters to me.
I agree that Christine, in my mind, is not a floater in the house. I would say the floaters are the Victorias, the Jocastas, the people who are not actually part of the game. I mean, Christine is in, God knows how many alliances in the house. Just because she's not going up on the block or winning competitions, that does not make her a floater in my mind. She's not Jenn City.
Exactly.
Yeah, poor Jenn City. Really, she's like minding her own business tonight, and now everybody's talking about her, calling her a floater. She's like, hey, what's that about?
Did you see the Big Brother dictionary?
Yeah, I'm in the Big Brother dictionary. Okay. Allison Krupp wants to say, do you think that Zach thinks that he's pulling a Dr. Will by thinking that people will bring him to the finale because they believe people hate him and won't vote for him? Is that what Zach is going for?
I don't think that's what Zach is going for, because I'm not sure you can't compare Zach and Dr. Will. You just can't do it.
No, you cannot. Brian, could you tell us maybe a little bit more of what Zach is thinking? It's just that he's going to tell people, take me to the end, and I'll get $50,000.
Yes, he thinks he's Dr. Will for sure. I mean, he keeps doing all this stuff. He wants to make the target so big that it disappears, and there is some indication that it works.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. I mean, Donnie has said that it's beneficial to have him in the house. It is.
If Zach makes it to the end, then we'll talk about some comparisons.
Exactly.
Until then, we'll have to hold out judgment.
I was trying to say that, earlier in the season that it was like Dr. Will crossed with somebody else, and I forget who said this to me on Twitter, but it's actually really perfect. It's like if Dr. Will and primetime Alex Stein had a baby, that would be Zach. It's like it's some of the right ideas, but then it's like this crazy energy of just telling people off for no reason and trying to make good TV. Dr. Will plus primetime Alex Stein equals Zach.
You want to know what another funny love baby is? Russell Hantz, Lane Ellenberg equals Caleb.
Oh. We're gonna take a look at that.
Yes, do it. Take a look at it. Send me a tweet and just remember I told you so.
Okay. Elizabeth Berry says, "OMG, just make out already, Zanky." Okay, that's more of a comment than a question, but okay, sure, why not? Why doesn't Brian? Why doesn't Frankie want to make out with Zach? Is that the case?
No, Zach's not making out with Frankie, and it's like Frankie's not trying to make out with Zach either. They accept that Zach is straight and that Frankie is gay, and they rub each other's backs and stuff, and sleep in the same bed together and snuggle each other and have like a bromance.
Okay.
It doesn't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. All right. Let's do one more question. Let's get to spoilers. Wouldn't it be better for Zach to have an alliance member that doesn't do anything unless he's nuts, of course? All right. So this is a fair question. This is from Dan. And Hayden, do you want people in your alliance that don't do anything, or is Zach right to want to get rid of people who aren't doing anything in the alliance?
I think it's important to pull your weight within the alliance for everybody. So literally, if you have people in your alliance that aren't doing anything, I mean, they're good for a vote, but that's it. At the end, I mean, you're going to need people to win competitions for you at some point. So I would say, obviously it's better if everybody can pull their weight.
Well, hey, Brian, what were Zach's options? Okay, let's say, so Frankie went first, and he took Jocasta and Victoria off the board. Okay, so we know not Derek, Frankie, Cody. There was still Caleb, who you could put. He's in the mix. I would think. I know he didn't want to put up Donnie. You have Hayden, Nicole, Christine, and they didn't want to put Amber up on the block. Is there anybody else I'm missing?
It was really just Hayden was the only other option for Zach at that point. And so when they were all around, I'm trying to talk about spoiler stuff now.
Okay.
But yeah,
right,
Hayden was really the only other option.
Let me hit the buzzer. If you're gonna bounce out for the spoilers, we're gonna talk about things from the live feeds now. If you just watch the TV show, check out Hayden Moss's Divvy app in the App Store for you're on the Android too.
We're only in iOS only in the Apple App Store right now, but Android will be coming soon.
All right, in the iOS App Store, Divvy app. All right, so we're talking spoilers now. All right, now we're free to talk about anything from the live feeds, Hayden. Are you a live feeds guy?
I don't watch live feeds as much as I would like to. Once in a while, I'll catch it on Big Brother After Dark. I would like to watch. A couple seasons ago, when I had a lot more time, a lot more free time, I was watching a lot, and now I'm not as free as I would like to be.
Okay. Well, that's understandable. If you're trying to work on an app, trying to be an entrepreneur, you can't be watching the live feeds all day. You get nothing done.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about from the live feeds. Brian, could you update us on the veto at this hour?
Yes. Hayden Voss won the veto.
Okay. Hayden Voss wins the veto. Okay. And what is he planning to do with that veto?
He's planning on removing Victoria from the block.
Okay, now is that part of the overall plan from the Detonators, or is he going rogue?
No, he is colluding with the Detonator. Basically, he was in on the whole plan anyway from the beginning to backdoor Amber.
Okay, and then Amber is going to go up on the block. Is she aware of this fact yet?
No, she's not aware. I think Caleb wasn't aware either. He thought Victoria was going to go on the block, and that's one of the reasons that Hayden was so giddy and pumped up about using it on Victoria was just for the shock value and blindsiding Caleb out of the whole situation.
Okay, so what's gonna happen on Monday when Amber goes up on the block and Caleb finds out that his woman is the backdoor target?
Well, Zach, luckily enough for Frankie, has convinced Caleb in a weird, subtle way to offer Amber up as a backdoor target to teach her a lesson.
Oh, I gotta teach her a lesson. Gotta have that's the way to do it.
She's gotten too big for her britches, as he said tonight.
She's gotten too big for her britches. She gotta learn her lesson.
Yep.
Yep, so he's not necessarily on board with the backdoor plan, but Frankie's really happy with Zach because he was worried about this very thing, about how Caleb was going to react when he does backdoor Amber, and then all of a sudden, due to Zach's work, Caleb walks up to him and says, "Hey, backdoor Amber."
Okay. So, Brian, I know Team America is looking to get some more controversy going and get another one of these fights started. Do you have any sense of what they're planning for the veto ceremony?
Yes, that has been discussed. The working plan is to just set Zach loose on Amber. Derek has suggested getting Zach to put her on blast for the way she's treated Caleb, and that would just help Caleb, solidify with them because they were taking his side in the whole thing. But the only thing he says is, "I'm going to evil laugh at her when she gets backdoored."
Okay, so here's what I wanted to say earlier in the episode. I didn't want to talk about spoilers. Is there any concern on the part of the guys in the Detonators that, boy, if we're with Zach and everybody in the house hates Zach and Christine hates Zach, are we worried that there could be a Christine, Nicole, Hayden, Amber, maybe Caleb by proxy, picking up Donnie, picking up Jocasta? Are they worried at all that the Zach could unite the rest of the house against the Detonators?
Well, Zach does have the confidence of some of those people you mentioned, especially Donnie. You saw just a little bit when Frankie said something about maybe nominating Donnie, and Zach just shot it down immediately. So I think what Donnie feels is really important to the house.
Now, because Hayden, my thinking was that, to piss off Christine, she really is the one that knows where all the bodies are buried. And that seems like a very silly person to alienate. If I was Zach, I would put Nicole and Hayden on the block before I put Christine on the block, because Christine is the one that has all the secrets and could burn the guys much more than either of those other two people. So don't you feel like this is really risky to alienate Christine?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like you said, she knows the bodies are buried. She can do the most damage because she has all the information. So if they rub her the wrong way, she could potentially unite the other half of the house.
Brian, how pissed?
It seemed like she had some trash on. He had some dirt on Christine too. That if he exposed that she wasn't being honest with Nicole about the Detonators, then that may end their alliance together.
Yeah, I really feel like it was not such a great move to go after Christine in the way that she did. Has there been any sort of damage control done on that? I know they were talking about it during the episode.
Yes, damage control was attempted and has appeared to succeed. You got to see, I mean, when he gave that speech, it wasn't an immediate everybody bawling and squalling over it. It was everybody started laughing, and then Nicole collapsed on the floor crying afterwards because she didn't know whether she should cry or laugh. But, later on he just told them, it's the Adele excuse. I just wanted to make good TV, and that's what we're here to do, so why are you being mad at me over? I did y'all a favor. I gave y'all immunity.
Okay, so going into next week, how much do we think that Zach will be the target of the house next Thursday?
I believe that he's going to be a general target of everyone. It's like if I become the target, I'm going to throw this guy under the bus. So I think he's in danger of becoming the next target if someone can get the target switched off of them.
And that's a byproduct of having a huge personality. I mean, Survivor, Big Brother, it doesn't matter. When you play a social game and you have a huge personality, you become a target.
Yeah, I don't feel like even on Big Brother, it's worse to be a bigger personality, because I feel like on Survivor, it's not as big of a deal. I feel like you can sort of be like that, that bigger voice in the room, as opposed to in Big Brother where everything is magnified that you do.
Yeah, 100%. And part of the reason it's magnified is because you're confined to that small space, that small living area they call a house. Survivor, you can at least get up, walk down the beach, take a swim, get away from that, whoever it is, the personality, the confrontation. You can get away from it on Survivor. Big Brother, that house is not that big.
Who is a better player, Devin or Brad Culpepper?
Brad Culpepper.
Oh,
That's boy, man.
that's good. That's good. All right, let's take some questions here as we go along with the live feed stuff. This is from Amazing Race Know It All. Will the many alliances of Christine cost her later before Derek's manipulation comes to the surface? Brian, who do you think is going to get exposed first, Christine or Derek?
I just have to say Christine's going to get exposed first. I mean, Zach has already almost exposed her already to Nicole. I really think what would be crazy is if they would team up, they would pretty much contain all the information of the entire house between the two of them.
Is Christine in danger, Brian?
No, she's not in danger. I mean, even like this week, she got sympathy out of this. Nicole got sympathy out of this, and they got immunity. So I think they're okay.
Okay. Tell me about the fight between Zach and Caleb.
Oh, yeah. So Zach and Caleb are going to plan this fake fight. And basically, it's Zach just started yelling at him in the HOH room loud enough for everybody downstairs to hear. And Cody and Derek freak out and go running up there to try to break up the fight, which was a fake fight to begin with. But I thought that kind of exposed something, you know, to see the two people that are in the alliance with those people run up there and try to stop it.
Yeah. Hayden, have you ever heard of anything like that before?
No, I mean not exactly. It is interesting to think, you know, they cause a fake fight. Everybody else hears it, listens in. Everybody sees, you know, Derek and Cody run up to break it up. I mean, it like Brian just said, it does kind of expose them a little bit because traditionally, if you're not aligned with people that are starting to fight, it's like, hey, let them fight. Let them fight. Let them put a big ass target on their own backs.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not sure if maybe if the other house gets picked up on that or not, but it's something to maybe to think about.
You know, that's a good point because yeah, well, if you were on one of these shows, why wouldn't you want people to fight? You want everybody to sort of like tear each other's throats out.
Yep. As long as you're not involved in it, it's good for your game, guaranteed.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a question from Mackenzie Vitimo. And Mackenzie says, is Amber campaigning to Hayden not to use the veto? Will Frankie backdoor Zach? Well, we talked about the Frankie backdooring Zach thing before, and careful there, Mackenzie. Let's just talk about is Amber campaigning to Hayden not to use the veto? Brian, have you seen any campaigning from Amber?
Yes.
And what is she saying?
Well, she did, to Hayden about not using the veto. She asked campaign, but yeah. So basically, he said, yeah, he told her that he wouldn't. I believe.
Okay. And so, how do you think Amber is going to take this? I know she threatened to expose the detonator or the bomb squad, but I thought that was very funny when Zach said to who? Victoria?
Yes, and they've already went around trying to do preemptive damage control for her, throwing them under the bus, saying that yeah, she's liable to say anything. She's already started saying she's going to throw people under the bus, even if it's not true, and that kind of thing. So when she does it, they'll be like, well, yeah, so that's what's happening. I figure what's going to happen is that's going to put her on blast, and she'll run away and cry.
Okay. Let's go to Daniel Sinensky, who says, what if the HOH weren't allowed to talk to one another? Would that break the broken twist? What do you think, Hayden? Should the HOHs be quarantined and not allowed to talk to each other?
And that'd be interesting. I think impossible to do.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, it would, I guess, fix the broken twist, but it's just not realistic.
Okay. Let's go to Alex Wilpon, who's a big Adam Pock fan. She wants to know, I don't know what to do with Jocasta. She had these great diary rooms, but she's painful to watch on the feeds. She's boring, and her conversations are like pulling teeth. What do you think? Now, Hayden, you're a huge Jocasta fan, right?
Huge, the biggest.
Yes. So what do you think of people who are critical of your girl Jocasta?
I mean, you know what? She's a sweetheart. She's very religious woman, and I think she's just doing her thing. I mean, you know, let her do her thing. Be nice to her, and yeah, that's about all I got on Jocasta.
Who's the better game player, Jocasta or Kathy?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with Kathy.
Oh, okay, there you go. Brian, tell me about this from your dossier. You say that Jocasta has been crying because she thinks Brittany stole her life story.
Oh yes. Someone told her. Now I didn't see all these source conversations, but I did see someone or her complaining because someone told her that Brittany had went around telling this story about having to steal money from her children's piggy bank accounts or something to pay for bills or whatever. And Jocasta was mad, crying, screaming that Brittany stole her life story about stealing money from her kids.
Yeah, and so I mean, does Jocasta have a leg to stand on legally if Brittany is stealing her stories?
I mean, that's gonna be a heck of a lawsuit. I'd like to see him battle it out, well, in court or the Big Brother house, either one. No, she doesn't have a leg to stand on. I think Brittany, she claimed it first. I'm guessing.
This happened to my friend Kramer once. Like, yeah, somebody should just like all summer long, just like go on Joker's updates and just write down all the crazy stories from Big Brother and then just like turn them into a screenplay. Just like use like, oh, there was a baby that got carried away by an eagle, and then the mom had to break into the piggy banks and steal the money, and just take like the craziest like 500 stories of the summer and somehow figure out, make it into a movie.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be a blockbuster hit.
I think so. There's a at the center of the movie. There's a couple that somebody is gay and somebody is straight, and there's sort of a will they or won't they. It's a romantic comedy. It'd be a hit.
Yeah, for sure. You have everything you need for a good movie.
Let's do a couple more questions with Hayden from Tiger Roar. Do you think Christine has enough social currency, as Ian likes to call it, to convince others to align with her and go against the Detonators? Okay, let me start with you, Hayden. First off, do you think that she has that cachet in the house?
Wait, I'm sorry. Say the question one more time, Rob.
Do you think Christine has the social currency to get people to follow her against the Detonators?
I don't think she does. I mean, she has all the information. It kind of depends on how she presents it and can she rally the troops. And my gut tells me no. I don't feel like Christine is a natural-born leader. I think she's maybe more of a follower. I would like to see her. I'd like to see her try and rally the troops and out the Detonators, but I don't see it happening.
Brian, do you think is she thinking along those lines right now?
Wow, she's, her game, she's at like a crossroads. She can either stick with this group or, run in the opposite direction. Most people do run in the opposite direction with Zach's, like start going off and everything.
Yeah, she's at a dead end with the Detonators. I mean, that she's at the point, like if this is Big Brother Canada, it's time to start the sloppy seconds. And it's time to, go off in a different direction. And I think if she doesn't realize that in the next week or so, I think then she's going to, not go too far in this game.
Right, but what happens when she's thrown under the bus to Nicole? How does that play out?
I think she can do damage control. I don't think Nicole's vindictive.
Well, she already did damage control once about not telling her about Alliance.
I think she could smooth it over. Brian, I forgot to ask you about, now we had some bad news in the Big Brother house again that Derek's grandfather passed away as well.
Yes, he was notified shortly after the Battle of the Blocks, so we'll probably see that on the next episode.
And how's Derek doing?
He's doing okay. It's helped him and Frankie bond a little bit, going through that adversity together.
Hayden, I saw the stupidest thing I ever saw in my entire life the other day. I guess Amber's grandmother gave an interview to TMZ and said she's not worried that she's going to die. She knows bad things happen in threes, but she's not concerned that she will be the next Big Brother grandparent to die this summer.
That's a true story?
Brian, am I making this up?
Hayden, Robert's not making this up. These people at TMZ.
Yes. TMZ is all over this stuff. They posted today they have a debate between Spencer from last season and Rachel Riley over whether Big Brother should tell people when people in their family die.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, obviously, family is more important. Big Brother's a game. So, yes, they should notify everybody. But I'm going to have to look up Amber's grandmother on TMZ. I think that's pretty topical.
She's not worried. She's not worried.
Good for her. She's probably healthy as a horse.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Although I hear that she is worried that Caleb's grandfather has been hanging out around her house lately and making her very uncomfortable. So she has that to worry about.
Oh. Yeah, it runs in the family. It runs in the family.
Let's go. Let's do two more questions. RFM7846 says, do you still talk to the brigade members? How close is the brigade to this day, Hayden?
Yeah, I talked to them all. I would say it's not like a daily conversation, but we keep in touch. Once every couple months, I'll hit up Enzo, Matt, and Lane, all of them. I mean, just to stay in touch is good. It's a short phone call here and there. And I actually lived in Texas for a while, close to Lane, and him and I would, we'd get together. Like I said, once a month or once every couple months, go have a beer or whatnot.
Yes, and good. I'm glad to hear that Matt isn't being excluded from the brigade because.
Hey, I love Matty. I talked to Matt probably the most of the three, actually.
Yeah, Matt is a great guy. I'm going to be podcasting with Matt later this week, Hayden. I know that you're out here now. You're in California, right?
I'm in California now, yeah.
Okay, so good. Well, I hope you're not too close to the beach and nervous about a coming Sharknado because this week I will have the follow-up to the hit movie podcast from last summer with Matt Hoffman. Matt and I will be talking Sharknado 2 later this week.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll be tuning in. I will be locking in for that.
Yes. So we're very excited. We did Sharknado 1 last summer, and we'll get to Sharknado 2 coming this week.
Sharknado 1. It was pretty epic, right?
It was epic. Sharknado 2 is this time it's in New York. Okay, and last question with Hayden. Would Hayden play a Big Brother again in an all-star or winners versus runner-up type season? This is an interesting question, Hayden. Now, first off, are you retired from these competitions now? Have you officially once you do Survivor, can you go back to Big Brother? Would you play in any sort of Big Brother All-Star competition?
Well, the answer whether or not I'm retired is no. I'm not retired. Yeah, I would definitely play. Anytime they call and they're going to give you the opportunity to go in and win $500,000, it's hard to say no to that. You got a 1 in 16 chance at walking home with a big check. So the answer is yeah, I would play. And plus it's fun. Like it's fun to go in there for the summer and play the game, get to know some people, and it's a good time overall.
Now, if you had a choice between Survivor or Big Brother, okay, and it was based solely on not which show you thought would be more fun, but which show you thought you had a better chance to win. Just strictly thinking from a financial perspective, which do I have a better chance to win? Either go to Survivor and get to 39 days to $1 million, or get through another summer in the Big Brother house and get to $500,000. Which would you do based solely on which could you win easier?
It's an interesting question. I think I have a better chance to win Survivor.
Okay.
I do.
There you go. It's both things are tough. Neither one is an easy thing to do. So, all right, Hayden. Anything else that we didn't get to talk about?
No, I think that's it, man. Again, I appreciate you having me on, and if you guys could all download my app, I would love you forever.
Good. Well, Hayden, I'm glad you came back on here. The RHAP loves Hayden Moss. You were the winner of the Survivor Blood vs. Water Fan Favorite Award.
That's right. Yes.
Yes. And so congratulations on that. So we're very excited to have you back. We will hopefully get to hear from you during the live draft of the 20-team league on robhasawebsite.com. I believe it's Tuesday, August 26th is going to be the live draft of the 20-team. Hayden is one of the reality stars that's competing in the 20-team league, so that's going to be very, very fun.
One of the few champions, by the way.
Yes. You were the winner of Rob Has a Fantasy Football League 2?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. Wow. Big Brother champion. Rob is a Fantasy Football League 2 champion. Basically, you just need Survivor for the Triple Crown.
Yeah, lock it down.
All right. Check out Hayden Moss's Divvy app in the iOS store. And then, Brian, you and I are going to be back on Wednesday night talking about BB16 again.
That sounds great.
Sounds great. All right, so we've got a jam-packed week coming up here on Rob Has a Podcast. Make sure you don't miss an episode. Subscribe at robhasawebsite.com/iTunes. Also, that's the iOS store. Or go to, for our Big Brother only podcast feed, robhasawebsite.com/bbpodcasts. Or for our video feed, robhasawebsite.com/YouTube. All right, have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. We'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments. And take care, everybody. Bye.